One of the biggest misconceptions people have about heart attacks is that they think it's indigestion. My cardiologist actually told me that 50% of the people who have heart attacks, usually their first symptom is also their very last. They usually don't recognize the signs until it's too late. And speaking of doctors and so forth, I just want to say a brief legal disclaimer that anything and everything that I say in my blog is based on my own personal experiences, and that although some of it, of what I may say, may have a universal reality that may make sense and so forth, and much of it does come from advice from my own medical professionals, please always check with your doctors about any concerns of any medical issue that you may have. And talking about what happened to me and this whole issue of indigestion and misconception, the way we eat in this world, the foods that we have and the way we digest things, it is no surprise at all that we use these proton pump inhibitors and heavy-duty antacids perhaps on a daily basis. We're very dependent upon them. That burning that comes up in our throat, this heaviness in the chest, and that bloating feeling that we often get is sadly the happy source of a multi-billion-dollar industry that is designed to keep manufacturing these pills and keep people dependent upon them. And there are actually excellent dietary options, non-medical options, to avoiding acid reflux and acid indigestion. And I have friends that say, but Bob, isn't it just easier to eat what you want and then just take a pill? And I say, yes, absolutely, the pills do work. But the problem is also that these pills are ultimately really bad for us. They can severely affect our liver and have other health ramifications. And as an important background to my story, I have to explain that for many, many years I struggled with what I thought were these really painful gastro attacks or these colon spasms. It turned out to be something other than that, very severe, which I will talk about later. I could usually avoid these spasms by not eating certain foods. Plus, I also had an unreasonable fear of doctors and of the medical industry, so I did not follow through. I did not seek the detail of medical help that I should have. And I know it was completely stupid of me. I feel very different about that now, but at the time I self-diagnosed, and it seems that unless I ate certain rich foods, chocolates and caramels at Halloween time, or these higher fat treats around the holidays that would trigger these attacks, unless I ate those foods, I literally would be fine. What happened is it would start basically as trapped gas that was in my stomach, and it would sort of turn into this piercing pain, and I began to feel like my stomach was overinflated, very bloated, and then that turned into this really writhing pain. It was so bad sometimes I literally could barely breathe, and sometimes it would radiate up my back and sometimes into my arms and so forth. It was very, very similar to heart attack pain. And no matter what position I tried, standing, sitting, walking, rolling on the floor, writhing, sometimes I would just clutch a pillow to me and wait until it would stop. A hot shower would also relax me, made me feel very comfortable. The warmth soothed me. There was a doctor on board a Cunard ship, the Queen Mary II, where I frequently lecture, who prescribed this anti-spasm medication called dicyclamine or Bentyl. And sometimes I would take 5 or 10 milligrams of Valium, and that actually would relax me. And then after about 2 to 4 hours of this pain, it would suddenly lift, I would feel fine, and I'd be good for 5 to 6 months, no problems whatsoever, as long as I didn't eat those foods. And I'd eat something stupid, and then it would happen again. So there was a direct correlation for me. I started following something called food combining. You may actually want to look this up, Google it. And I found I could avoid acid reflux without any medications, but of course I still feared these spasms. Early morning of August 3rd, I woke up having what I thought was one of these really bad colon spasms. Only this time it was different. This time the pain was more centered in my chest. In my next segment, I will talk more about that evening.